It's Rogue!
Never see it coming.
Also in this run, when I start the games, I'm going to be talking about the arena changes and what I'm going to be doing for arena in the month of March. But for now, the draft. So Rogue is a class with a lot of single target removal, especially with the weapon, so the mind control tech rarely actually goes off. So I might not take mind control tech, but I'll take mind control tech because the other options aren't good. I can't remember the last time that this actually worked, or would have worked in arena. I'll choose it anyways. Oh hey, got a legendary for once! By the way, the rarity levels are going to get changed with patch 7.1 to arena, which is good. Haven't gotten a legendary in a very long time. It's going to be a Nixie, I imagine. So this, assassinate. Skulker is really good. Zubot or Commando? Probably Zubot. Hey, I have a dragon to buff. Actually, I have 7 dragons to buff. Earthen. Alright, I'm a Jade deck. I'm a class with Jades, but this is probably not very realistic. Been a while since I've had this Tinker's Sharp Sword oil. It's a little bit slow in the arena meta, but Jade Spirit is really slow. And I have one big card at the end already. Do I risk the Jade Spirit anyways? I mean, every single Jade card you pick makes every single other Jade card better. By the way, in patch 7.1, Arena gets changed to standard from wild, which will mean that choosing like the class mechanic will be a lot more viable, which I actually think is good. I'm gonna pick the Jade. It's a little bit more of a stretch than the oil, but the oil isn't that good. This card just looks good because people have fond memories of it, but it's like really slow. I don't even have low cards to activate the combo. I'm gonna go Jade Spirit. And I have no 4-drops yet, so makes sense to just pick it. Streetwise Investigator, which is an okay 5-drop. Maiden of the Lake, which is weakish. Blackwing Technician, I have 1 dragon. Unlikely to get more. So it's either Streetwise or Maiden. And I think since I already have 2 5s, I'll take Maiden. Shady Dealer for a 4-3, Willing Soul for a 3-5. Possible I'll get another pirate somehow. I'll choose 3 mana 4-3. Oh, Jade Swarmer. It's a Jade card. It's not great, and Rubian Prophet's pretty good, but we're gonna build a Jade deck. We're gonna try to at least. Shadow Pan. So with these 2 picks, pretty much every single time I see a Jade card, I'm gonna pick the Jade card. Ooh, Shredder. Team Pillager, not as good in arena as is constructed, but still good. And I have enough 3-drops. Shadow Strike's good. Zombie Chow is great. Beats Betrayal, I think. Prophet, Shadow Step is a Jade card. Pretty sure that's not worth it. Mistress of Mixtures, I could use early game. I don't have enough early game to use Shattered Sun Cleric. Ooh, these are some good picks. Huckster or SI7. I don't have a lot of 2-drops, so that makes the Huckster better. I don't have a lot of early game, which makes the SI7 worse because of the lack of combo. I already have 4 3-drops, and I only have 1 2-drop. But I am Rogue, so I can use the hero power. This is a really close one. I'm gonna choose Huckster. It's very close. If I had more 2s, I would have picked SI. Spellbreaker or Reporter. I have the Assassinate for hard removal already. I have Shadow Strike. I have Eviscerate. So why silence when you can already kill? Is the idea, I guess. I'll choose the card that can be played on 4. I mean, I already have a few cards that can be played on 4. This is overall better. Counterfeit Coin. No. Matter Bomber. Okay, we got some loser picks here. So, is it Arcane Anomaly or is it Vanish? I think it's Arcane Anomaly. I have 1, 2, 3 spells. By the way, in patch 7.1, the arena changed at the end of February, spells will come up at a greater frequency, which is great. Because a lot of these decks are just a bunch of minions usually. I'm gonna pick Anomaly, I guess. Shiv or Micro Machine? It's close. Jungle Pant. Cult Master? I don't have a lot of early game, so Cult Master is worse than it usually is. Deadly Fork or Ambusher? Deadly Fork kind of slow. Ambusher, big 4 mana 5/5, but anti-tempo if I get ahead. So the question is, do I need a 4 or a 3? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good 4 drops. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good 3 drops. I'm pretty well set on both. I'll choose the Fork. Do I go Novice Engineer or do I go Iron for Grizzly? Side note, in patch 7.1, the neutral cards from the Classic set will be seen less often, and situations like this will happen less often, which is great. That is probably the change I look forward to the most. It's going to be Novice, I think, unless it's Grizzly. I don't have very many 2s, but I would usually do a Hero Power over a Novice Engineer. How many Taunt do I have in the deck? I have no Taunt. I think I'll go Grizzly. Could use a big card at the end, so I'll choose Big Time Racketeer. Anti-Killbot's surprisingly bad even in Rogue, because it's important to keep tempo, and 5 mana 3/3s and keeping tempo. Unearthed Raptor is a pretty good card. Things I can copy for Death Rattle: Mistress of Mixtures, Zombie Chow, Jade Swarmer, Undercity Huckster. These two are obviously the one. Deadly Fork. It's pretty good actually. Shredder. Pillager. Ooh, big time. Oh, that's Battlecry. Card would be pretty bad if it wasn't Battlecry. Anyways, it's Unearthed Raptor. And I end up getting 2 Jade cards. Womp womp. If this weren't Rogue, this mana curve would be pretty scary, having only 2 2-drops, one of which is really slow, and 2 1-drops though, and that third one's not too bad. But fortunately I'm Rogue, and Rogue is the class that turn 2 hero power is the most susceptible on. A lot of 3s, a lot of 4s, a bunch of 5s. Got a Big Time Racketeer and a Nixie at the end. It's tempo heavy deck, not aggressive, but like lots of 3s and 4s, so I'll be able to usually play a pretty good card on those turns. It's like average-ish. Yeah, it has a Nixia, but I watered it down with Jade Spirit and Jade Swarmer, both of which are pretty bad since I only have 2 Jade cards in the deck. Solid deck, entirely one-ofs. Too bad no Reno. I'm gonna start guessing for decks that I think are average. I'm gonna lower the general guess across the board because competition's gotten much tougher. I'm gonna guess 6 wins for this deck.
Hey.
You asked for it. Watch your back.
Let's see, what are my strongest 3-drops? My 3-drops actually aren't that good. Like across the board, they're all mediocre. I think I'm gonna toss all of these. I have a good amount of them, but they're all like mediocre-ish. It's a deck of kind of mediocrity. Maybe it's slightly below average. Alright, well I said I was going to talk about patch 7.1 while playing through this arena, so I'm going to do it. That's value. No need for a separate video to talk about it, when I can just talk about it while playing.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
My 3-drops are pretty weak. I think I'm gonna go coin 4-drop. I think Jade Spirit is best here. This is like coining out a Razorfen Hunter. That's pretty rough. Anyways. So the big change for patch 7.1 into Arena is mostly to do with its... End of the Lake's pretty solid. End of the Lake may have been a better card to play, actually. 2-6 against 3-2. Anyways, at the end of February, these things are going to happen. So Arena changes from Wild format to Standard. The idea behind that change, alright, gonna go 4+1 here. That's a strong 4. This is a strong 4 because that's 6. But he's probably gonna attack the 4. But if he attacks the 4, I have a 2 here. So I might as well play 4 and 4. The idea behind going from wild to standard is that there's going to be a lot more synergies. Because when it's wild, there's just so many cards that all of the individual sets don't get as much love. So for example, in this arena, I wasn't able to draft that many Jade cards, even though Mean Streets of Gul'dan gets a slight set bonus because it's the latest set. Drawing 2 cards of Cult Master makes a lot of sense here. And Undercity.
Take this blade.
You want to buy a funnel cake?
So I'm actually in support of that change from wild to standard. There's like a lot of debate between this one, and Ben Brode has said this is a pretty big experiment, and if it doesn't meet the goals, they can just revert it. So we'll see. I personally like it. Along the lines of making sure that you can have more synergy in drafting, also there's going to be neutral classic cards showing up less. I think that's my favorite change. That means that there's going to be less times where you're being offered like 3 vanilla minions. Instead, you'll be getting the interesting minions from the expansion. That's my favorite change from the planned change.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Buy one!
There will also be more spells, so the chances of spells appearing get a slight bonus. That's good because, as you can see from this arena, as well as most of arenas, you usually draft a deck of like 25 minions, or even more than that. So it becomes a lot samey. I think having more spells is going to help that out a lot, make it feel more varied.
Here we go.
Let's see, I want this one not to die.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
And finally, card rarity distribution is going to be changed a bit. So common cards are 78% of all arena cards. They're going to change the frequency at which they appear so that you get fewer of those and more of the other ones. I think that makes a lot of sense. 1 card. Alright. Nixia, go! Also worth mentioning that Flame Strike and Abyssal Enforcer will show up 50% less, which is great because those are probably a bit too strong for Arena, since you always get into that mid-range battle where the opponent will have a decent board. So all in all, I think the changes to Arena are really good, which is part of why I'm going to be participating pretty strongly in Arena in March. I'm going to plan on there's the leaderboard thing, which I love, and I'm going to try to get on. Standard is kind of getting to its state where it's being solved-ish. This is really good to get mirror entity'd as well, so... In order to get on the leaderboard, you have to do at least 30 arena runs. So I plan to do about 1 every day for the month of March. And also cool is I'm going to use a new account to do it, which means that'll technically start a new free-to-play account. So I'm going to start the account in March, do the arenas, and then probably do a free-to-play run in April.
I always do.
So this is going to cost 2 on turn 4, so the plan is Huckster, Panther, and then this and Dagger, but could easily change.
You want to buy a funnel cake? It's time for a little blood.
Hit Chow, perhaps? But the next turn I can hit. It'll just cost me 5 health.
Here we go.
Buy one!
It was really worth considering going Jungle Panther there. Wow, that's a really good card. Awesome card. Scary enough to Shadow Strike. So 2+3 is pretty solid here. Alright, he has no weapon, so that's really good for me. Next turn I can go Nubian Prophet, Shadow Pan Rider, Mistress. It's a huge board. On turn 6 I'm gonna get, let's see, that's a 6-7, 6-7 plus 4-4, 10-11. I'm gonna have 12-13 worth of stuff. That's a good deal.
No. Trust me.
Pretty tough to beat that turn 6.
So many options.
Why not pre-hit the bartender? Reasonable. I guess the idea of not pre-hitting is it might mean that the hit is pointless if he removes this somehow. But yeah, I can see it. That's pretty good actually. In this case, pre-hitting it would have actually done nothing. So that's an example of why not to pre-hit. But I think hitting it has valid points to it, for it.
Here we go.
Alright, we're playing it all. And we're gonna try to play around Betrayal a tiny bit. I think this is the best positioning. And yes, I'm playing a stealth minion on the edge, which might look bad against Betrayal, but it's because it's my most valuable minion, I don't want it to be in the middle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Skulker?
Incredible.
Oh my, Pyro. Okay, well, it's not actually that bad. He's got 2 cards, and I have like 2 reasonable cards. Unfortunately, this mana worked out perfectly. Fortunately, the sap wasn't a great spell to play. I have no pirates in this deck. Oh. This is probably the right time to kill it. Oh, I actually can. Okay, I'm in a winning position. And it's just up to me to draw either Cult Master, Big Time Racketeer, Onyxia, or Daring Reporter.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir. Fine. I'll heal.
That's a good one.
It's a deal. Done.
You dare challenge the daughter?
Always lucky.
This only works on the simple-minded.
Delicious.
Wow. Value. Value? Mostly value.
Here we
Worth.
go.
X marks the spot.
I'm willing to take 3 damage to save a 1/1. I think the answer is yes. And he's got no board. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 the next turn. Yeah, should be
Here
fun.
we go.
I believe.
Someone say Bob.
Okay. Okay. Good enough.
Valir versus Jade.
Yeah, Nixie is a really big deal.
You asked
She does just win games.
You're back.
And it's especially necessary in my deck since I don't have that card. That card is good enough to keep. Given my deck, which has few, it has a lot of 4s, but this 4 is just like so above the curve. But I'll keep it. If I were consistently trying to get a 2, I'd probably have mulliganed the Shredder. But I can just dagger on 2.
Someone call the doctor.
It's interesting. He played this card on 2 instead of 1.
Here we go.
I guess if he played it on 1, I could have coin 2'd. Is he thinking that deeply? Huh. I'm gonna play a bad card because he played a secret. Let's play as Shredder, but
Engaging
I don't have anything to follow up on the 4.
dislocator. Engaging TC-130 mental dislocator.
If I had something to follow up on the 4, I might have risked it.
Drink the power.
Like on 4. This fortunately was much less bad, but I'm way behind right now. I can do the Dark Iron Dwarf, and then... Alright, we gotta stop the bleeding here.
Here we go.
Nubian Prophet gives me a strong turn on 5, since I get to do 1 mana 4/4.
Hey, I can see my house from here.
Don't forget to tip the Torin.
This one, getting Wind Fury, probably doesn't matter that much. I think he's gonna try to Fire Blast the Shredder and then trade in the Tauren, and then it's gonna matter a bit on whether or not he gets a 2 attack minion from my Shredder. Alright. Full face. Small amount of pain. Nothing I can't handle. Let's see. If he has Fireball, he would need about 4 turns to kill me. If he only has exactly 1 Fireball. And I can kill him in about 3 turns with my board.
Time runs out on me.
Okay, now he kills me with Fireball in 1 turn. It's pretty spooky.
Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop. Gadgets and Gazette always gets the scoop.
Oh, Murloc! Alright, so I kill him in 2 turns. So to win, he needs Firelands, Portal, or Fireball. Or I should say, in order to win swiftly, he needs those cards. He can, of course, also win through other means.
You want to buy a funnel cake?
4, 9, 12, 16, 17, 19, Firelands. Wow. It was close. Very close.
I will fight with honor.
Watch your back.
Who goes there?
So I play around Coin Muster, I guess.
Shields up. Red alert.
Here we go.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Here we go.
I'll show them all.
Here we
Guess that's
go.
good enough. Try to save the Earthen Ring Farseer for a minion. That's where the value is. Healing myself over a minion is much worse. Do I trade?
Say hello to my little friend.
It's close, but yeah.
Here we go.
Want a deal?
I think Arena is a lot about Hearthstone right now, which is why I look forward to having more spells in it. Also, the common cards by default are kind of standardish, like they don't do that much, so by not having as many common cards, and certainly like the basic cards from the classic set, that's an example of those cards are the most boring, so like a combination of things I think is going to make Arena quite a bit better. The more I think about it, the more I like it. Arena has a lot of minion combat, which is great. It's just that when you're playing your cards, it often ends up being, alright, which one curves out the most? I think I'm willing to take 7 here. Save the Skulker for the next series of stuff.
Here we go.
Get 'em.
The next turn I'll play the 2 5s.
I enjoy raiding. Reporting for duty.
Here we go.
What? We are the spawn in the shadows.
So some people suggested instead of killing the tank, like I could have killed the Divine Shield, that's fine. But here's the problem with like going face. I can't play the Shadow Panraider since 6-7 against 7-7 is a bad deal. I mean I can, but it just doesn't seem great. So I think spending some time to simplify the board position was okay. But I'm willing to admit there might have been a better line there. It seems he can't kill this. I'm gonna try to keep it healthy. So I'll trade away the 3/3.
Of course.
What are you questioning here? Playing the Chow? Playing the Chow protects this 4/4. Like, he would love to hit the Dark Iron Dwarf with his 4 weapon. But playing the Chow might taunt it away from the Dark Iron Dwarf. Overall, the amount of damage I am going to be doing with the Chow will probably outweigh the amount of healing he'll do.
Shadow strike.
I think I should trade here, because otherwise he gets a favorable trade there. Let's see. He goes to 6, he goes to 4, he goes to 3, he goes up to 8. Nah, I just go face. Set up the lethal. Let me think. 6, 8, 9, 3, 8. He goes to 3, goes to 8. That'd be one short of lethal. But it seems like the exchanges he'd have to do would be this and this. Which isn't bad for me. Yeah, well.
Here we go.
It ultimately doesn't matter, I'll probably win either way.
Reporting for duty.
The Dream of Bomber.
Reporting for duty. Shadow strike.
That's pretty good too. I think it might be fair that on the turn that he played Force Tank next, maybe I could have been more aggressive rather than just trading.